Days after Haiti's president was assassinated in his home, police say they have captured 17 suspects and killed several others. Among the arrested are Colombian ex-military and 2 dual US-Haitian citizens. Their motive remains unclear. Authorities are still searching for more members of the alleged hit squad. Haitian citizens are also joining in the manhunt. Colombia's defense minister confirmed that several retired Colombian soldiers were involved in that assassination. For more on this, I'm now joined by Professor Günther Mayholt from the German Institute for International and Security Affairs. He's also an expert on Latin America and on organized crime. Professor Mayholt, many of these suspects seem to be Colombian, some of them former military. What are the links between Haiti and Colombia?
There are a lot of different dimensions which come to my mind. Especially there is a drugs deal arrangements, and we have seen in the last months and years as Haiti has become a central point in the transition routes of drugs to the US and to the European markets. This might be one dimension, but we know as well that the former president had, especially his firms and his economic activities, a lot of different connections to Latin American countries. So this might be another dimension.
Okay, so organized crime is likely to have played a role here. Would you agree?
This could be one point. We must be clear that this assassination could only be managed due to local contexts and local power holders. So we should see this as mercenaries which have been contracted by other people, and we are not sure up to now who is behind all this, and we must expect further investigation.
You mentioned the internal situation there in Haiti. What can you tell us about the general political outlook at the moment?
We are in a situation of power vacuum. We have now, since yesterday, 2 prime ministers who are debating their interests to control the situation. There's no parliament which is in functioning since 1 year. We had a president which operated by decree. The Supreme Court president has died recently from COVID. So there is no clear institutional way out of this challenge. And I think due to this difficult institutional scenario, we need a strong position of the international community.
Is there no internal opposition, domestic opposition? Is there a movement forming there that want to re-establish democratic institutions?
There is a lot of opposition, and that's the main problem. It is fractured. It is incapable to form a national consensus, and this opposition is also characterized by criminal interest, family groupings, personal power aspirations. So the national dimension to form a way out of this situation is very difficult to imagine, and in some way international actors such as the United Nations, US or France are hesitant to take up this challenge because they know about the difficulties to come to terms with a country and a situation which is losing the rest of governance it had in the recent years.
There are concerns that this situation in Haiti could turn into an all-out civil war. Do you agree?
I wouldn't speak so much about civil war. I would speak more about anomia. We have a situation of a security challenge. We have a lot of kidnappings. We have criminal gangs which are controlling parts of territories in the capital, but as well in the other cities and landscape. So we have to be clear that there is no central power. There is no confidence of the population in the institutions, and we have a disastrous economic and COVID situation which makes it even more difficult to come to terms with it.
Professor Günther Meyerhold from the German Institute for International and Security Affairs, thank you very much for joining us here on DW News.